Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about array. Our special emphasis will be on one-dimensional array. As we advance in Java programming, it becomes necessary to manage memory in the most convenient and economical way. You need to create a logical structure in the memory to store numerous data items by using minimum set of variables and by using optimum memory space. In this presentation, we are going to stress on optimizing the memory space for effective storage of data with the help of a logical structure called dimensional array. Primitive data types are used to declare the variables that can store a single value in the memory. As soon as the next value is given to a primitive variable, the previous stored value gets erased. Hence, it is difficult to handle a set of values by using a single variable. Let us understand the concept with the help of a program snippet that appears on your screen. Here, the location represented by the variable m can store only one integer data value at a time. As the loop repeats and the next value is assigned to m, the previous value of m will be deleted. After completion of the loop, you will find that only the last value of the variable is left in the memory location, although you entered 10 different values. As a result, you may not be able to carry out the mathematical operations such as sum or average of the numbers given as input. The problem is due to storing various numbers in a single variable. If you try to manage 10 numbers in different variables, then your program logic will be too lengthy and complex to manage effectively. Think of a situation if you have to deal with 100 such numbers. It is practically impossible to declare 100 such variables. The problem that we encountered can be resolved by using a number of variables with the same name and same data type. The variables will differ on their subscripts. By changing the subscripts through a loop, you would be able to store different numbers. The logical structure so created is termed as dimensional array. Thus, if we see the formal definition of a dimensional array, it states that it is a structure created in the memory to represent a number of elements by using a number of variables with same name but having different subscripts. Now let us understand the concept of dimensional array with the help of a real life example. Can you see the crate of eggs? You will find only eggs and no other objects. This resembles an array which stores homogeneous elements only. Now let's have a deeper look into dimensional arrays. Dimensional arrays are also known as composite data type. The data type that represents a number of similar or different data under single declaration is called as composite data type. A dimensional array is the concept of using a number of variables declared with the same data type. This we have seen in our earlier example. This is the reason why a dimensional array is said to be a composite data type. Dimensional arrays are basically of two types: single dimensional array and double dimensional array. In this presentation, our main emphasis will be on single dimensional arrays. For a better understanding of the single dimensional arrays, let us see the graphical representation. Single dimensional array is a structure that is represented along x-axis by using a number of variables with the same name having different subscripts. Single dimensional array is also called a single subscripted variable because each element of the array is represented by using a common variable name along with the single subscript. Let's have a closer look at the concept. Assume a subscripted variable m has been declared. The size of the variable is n. Thus, we will get a number of variables with the same name m. The only thing we need to do is change the subscript. The subscripts have been written within square brackets starting from 0 and ends at n minus 1. It must be kept in mind that the array will always begin with the 0th subscript. When a programmer declares an array to store n elements, it means the array elements will be denoted from m0 to mn minus 1. Have a look at this real example of how an array is represented in memory. In this illustration, 0, 1, 2 up to 8 are referred to as subscripts or index, and they help in both input and output of the array elements. M is the subscripted variable which is used to represent data items at different subscripts such as M0, M1 till M8. Subscripts are also called cells of dimensional array. This example explains how an array can store 9 different numbers of the same data type in the simultaneous locations of the memory starting with the 0th subscript. You can create arrays to store data of other types as shown in the table on the screen. The only change you need to do is write the proper data type before the subscripted variable. Now, having understood the concept of single dimensional array, the biggest question is how to implement it in Java programming. For this, we have to understand the general syntax to create a single dimensional array. On the screen, you can see first we write the data type, then the variable, then we leave a blank open and closed square bracket, then give a equal to symbol, then we use the new keyword, then again we write the data type that we have written before the variable, and within square brackets we have to give how many elements we need to store in that array. Let us take an example. Int x equal to new int within square bracket 10. It means x is an array that can store 10 data items in the memory with different subscripts. However, the storage of the array elements will always begin from 0. Thus, the index of the last element in this case will be 9. There are two general methods of storing values in the array locations: the standard method and another method using the scanner class. Let us have a look at the standard method. Observe the code snippet on the screen. We directly assign the values to each subscript. This is manageable if the number of locations allocated to the array is very less. However, this type of declaration is very difficult to manage in case we encounter a large sized array. In that case, we would recommend the use of the scanner class. To input the elements in a single dimensional array, we have to take the help of the following steps. First of all, we need to declare the scanner class, which is a component of the java.util package. Hence, we have to import the package in our program. After it has been done, we have to create an object of the scanner class. After that, we have to create a single dimensional array of the required data type. We also need to specify how many elements the array is going to store. With the help of a loop, we will be supplying the subscripts to the array. The counter variable of the for loop, say I in this example, will be set to 0 and it will run up to the last index of the array. The variable I will act as the subscript. The same procedure will be applied to perform other operations on the array. In our next presentation, we will discuss about another type of dimensional array known as double dimensional array. Thank you.